Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel, a place where we talk all things beauty. So today I will be breaking down 25 beauty products I've tested recently. I'll divide them into fails, okays and hits. I've tested all of this so you don't have to, and let me tell you, some of these were absolute winners, others not so much. But before we dive in, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you never miss any of my beauty reviews. Alright, now let's jump straight into the fails, because honestly, I need to get this off my chest. First up, I have these Phantom Glossy Balms from Hourglass, and Hourglass recently expanded their shade range and they added 4 new shades to their lineup. I was super excited because I love this formula so much, so I picked up 3 shades: Wonder, Invite and Secret. Unfortunately, these are just not for me. They all have glitter in them, and while the glitter is finely milled, it still manages to accentuate dryness and lines and wrinkles on my lips. It's just not a cute look on me, especially now when it's winter and I have such dry lips. Out of them 3, I will keep the shade Wonder just because it's the lightest, but Invite and Secret, they are going straight back to Ulta where they came from. Unfortunately, I just expected a little bit more from this formula at this price point. Next up, I have each and every aluminium-free deodorant, and let me just start by saying that I'm not a natural aluminium-free deodorant kind of girl. I am very loyal to my Dove deodorant, but since it's winter, I thought, okay, let me just take a break and try something new. You know, temperatures are down, I'm not sweating as much, so it should be fine, right? Wrong. So I went to Ulta and I picked it up thinking that it would be a great natural alternative, but oh my gosh, I have never used such a bad deodorant in my life, you guys. This does literally nothing. And I mean, I get that it will not stop me from sweating. It's not antiperspirant deodorant, so I will still sweat. But this, I'm straight up wet by the middle of the day, like uncomfortable levels of wet. That's what she said. No, but that's embarrassing. I'm literally grabbing napkins to blot my armpits in the middle of the day. And the scent, there's nothing to. It's like my sweat mixed with a little bit of coconut oil. It's just not the vibe. Yeah, this was a huge flop for me. If you guys have any great recommendations for aluminium-free deodorants that actually work, please leave them down below, but I'm so done with this one. Okay, now let's move on from our flop list to our okay products. These are products that just didn't wow me. They're not terrible, they're just okay. First, I have this product from Josie, Maran. This is their new Pink Algae Pro-Retinol Body Butter, and I'm a huge fan of their body care products. I love their body butters and their body scrubs, so this release definitely caught my attention, so I was pumped when they sent this my way. This body butter contains pink algae and other anti-aging ingredients which really help with skin repair and target skin texture. And it's a little bit more expensive than the original body butters, which I assume is because they added those ingredients. But is it worth it? Well, if I compare this one to their original formula, I will say the biggest difference for me is the texture. This one has a much lighter, airy, fluffy feel to it, and it absorbs super quickly into the skin and it isn't sticky at all, which I feel like it makes it perfect for mornings, especially when you want to hydrate and moisturize, but you don't want your skin to feel weighted down. And don't get me wrong, I really like this new formula. It's really lightweight and it's perfect for daytime, but personally, I still prefer the OG body butters from Josie Maran. I have very dry skin, especially now in winter, so this richer and thicker consistency of the original just feels more nourishing and satisfying for me. But overall, I think this pink body butter is a solid release from the brand. It's great for those who want something lighter, and I'm really excited to see the brand expand and grow and continue to innovate with their body care products. Alright, now let's talk about another okay product. This is from Benefit. This is their skincare line, and this is Get Unblocked Pore Clearing Makeup Removing Cleansing Oil. This one has its pros and cons, so let me break it down for you. First off, it has this very lightweight, runny texture. While it's super effective at breaking down my makeup, which of course is a must-have in such a product, I felt like I didn't have much control when using it because of how thin it is. It just didn't feel as substantial or luxurious as some other cleansing oils I've tried. Also, it has a very prominent floral fresh fragrance, which could be a deal breaker if you're somebody who's sensitive to fragrances, or if you prefer products that are less scented. Personally, I found the fragrance to be a little bit too much for my liking. Now, it does get the job done, and I'll definitely finish using this one up. But I have another cleansing oil which I much prefer, and I'll talk about it a little bit later, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, this is just an okay. I've been hearing about this Korean brand, ANUA. I hope I pronounced that correctly. So when I got the chance to try their Rice 70 Glow Milky Toner, I was so excited. I love a good hydrating milky toner, and this one is formulated with 70% rice bran water, which is known for its brightening and hydrating properties. It also has niacinamide, one of my favorite ingredients because it's amazing for brightening and improving overall skin texture. Plus it has ceramides, which are known to strengthen your skin barrier. It's also fragrance-free, which is of course a plus, especially if you have sensitive skin or you just don't like scented products. Now for me, it works better as one of the layering toners. Hydration is definitely noticeable, but I wouldn't say that it's your one and done toner if you have super dry skin. It's more of a layering toner that works beautifully with your other products. I feel like this is best suited for oily, sensitive skin since it's so lightweight, gentle, and non-irritating. I really enjoyed using it as my first toner after cleansing, and it gave me this soft, fresh look without being sticky or heavy. I just like a little bit more of a substantial toner just because I have such dry skin, but overall this is a very nice pick. Next, let's talk about this body collection from Rare Beauty. So they came out with a body mist and body cream. Let's talk about the cream first. This is their Fine Comfort Bouncy body cream, and I was so excited to see them expanding into body care. It has this really unique bouncy pudding-like consistency, and it feels incredibly lightweight on the skin. I believe they added the mesicon in it, so it gives you this beautiful silky smooth texture. Now, in terms of hydration, I'd say this is a surface level. It's not super rich or deeply nourishing, so if you have very dry skin, this might not be enough for you. They added niacinamide to it, which is great for improving texture and brightening over time. I love seeing skincare ingredients added to body care. Here's something to keep in mind though. It's heavily fragranced. If you're really sensitive to scents or heavy scents, this might be a deal breaker for you. And I'll be honest with you, at $36, this feels like a high-end fragrance body lotion rather than a deeply nourishing reparative body cream. But overall, it's really nice. I think it's a great option if you're looking for that lightweight hydration and a smooth finish. But if you need intense moisture and repair, you might look elsewhere. Rare Beauty also came out with Fine Comfort Body and Hair Fragrance Mist, and it's one of those that you have to shake really well to activate it. I will be honest, you guys, I'm not really a body mist kind of person, which is why this one lands in the okay pile. But just watch this. I think I got it in my mouth. But it has such a fantastic fine mister, which makes application so satisfying. The fragrance, it's really unique. Think peach, but green peach. It's fresh, it's zesty, it's awake. It perfectly lives up to its name. If you like fruity scents, especially with a little bit of a twist, I feel like this will be right up your alley. I definitely enjoy and prefer this one over the previous one. It just feels a little bit more elevated, especially with that fine mister, and the peach combined with that green citrusy edge makes it really stand out. So overall, I think if you're into body mists and fruity fragrances, this one's a winner. So Kilian decided to make a flanker of the super popular fragrance called Angel Share, which, by the way, Angel Share is one of my all-time favorites for fall and winter. To me, the OG smells like a freshly baked apple pie. Think warm, spicy, delicious, comforting. So naturally, when I got my hands on the sample of the new Angel Share Paradis, I was so excited to test it out, but I have to say, it's not what I expected at all. This one is very different from the original. That cinnamon note that is in the OG, it's completely gone. Instead, you get this rich, boozy raspberry liquor note. It's not a fresh raspberry, it's more like a deep, indulgent liqueur type of situation. And honestly, that part is amazing. But then when it gets to dry down, this is where I struggle. It has Bulgarian fresh rose and a lot of oak moss for some reason on my skin. All of that combined, it just doesn't do it for me. I personally find that it leans more masculine than the OG, and while it still has that sweetness from praline note and again raspberry, it's definitely not as sweet as the original. One thing I will say, the lasting power, nuclear. This thing lasted on me the whole day, and next day when I woke up, it still was there. So you know, the quality is there, and at this crazy $385 price point, it better be. My advice would be, if you love the original Angel Share, please do not blind buy the Angel Share Paradis. I just don't want anyone to assume that they are similar, because they are drastically different. Definitely try smelling it in store if you can, or get your hands on a sample. Personally, it's not for me, but I hope you guys find this helpful if you were considering it. So I got my hands on the new Pro-Collagen Peptide Plumping Moisturizer from Paula's Choice, and I've been using this moisturizer for about 2 weeks now, and honestly, it's just okay. I have dry skin, so I'm looking for a deeply hydrating, plumping moisturizers, and this one just didn't do enough for me. The texture is very lightweight, which probably would be great for someone with normal or oily or combo skin, but for my dry skin, it absorbs way too quickly and doesn't provide that long-lasting moisture. It has some amazing ingredients like squalene, peptides, and hyaluronic acid, but it also has silicones, which I believe they add to make the moisturizer feel really smooth on the skin, but unfortunately that doesn't really give anything in terms of hydration. I haven't noticed any significant improvement of my skin moisture levels or plumpness. It didn't cause any irritation, which is always a plus. I feel like I'm just not a target audience for this product. Maybe if you're oily or combo, you would enjoy this much more. But for my dry skin, it just wasn't enough. I love this pink packaging though, and the pump is always appreciated. It's just not moisturizing enough for my skin. So I recently tried this product from Ilia. This is their Lip Sketch Hydrating Crayon, and I must say this is a great 2-in-1 product. I got it in one of those Sephora favorite sets, so this is just a mini. I love those sets because it's just a perfect way to try new products without committing to full size. As you can tell, I've used it quite a bit, but I love that this product provides you with a precision of a lip liner and creaminess of a lipstick, and it gives you such a satisfying smooth application. I'm currently in my pink loving lips era, and this shade Pink Door is such a gorgeous soft pink shade. The formula feels really smooth on the lips, and I love that it doesn't feel waxy or dry. However, there's one thing that threw me off completely. This product needs a separate sharpener if you want to keep it pointy, which feels a little bit of a hassle considering this is $26. I just don't love the idea of needing another product to make this product work. And it's not even expensive. Sharpener is like $6, but I just don't want to buy another thing. Otherwise, I think it's a very solid product from Ilia, but the sharpener situation kind of knocked it down a notch for me, you guys. So it's just an okay. Swiss Arabian, a fragrance brand from Middle East, recently came out with a couple of new fragrances, and they were so kind to send them my way. So we have Shagaf Vanilla Toffee. When I first saw this, here's what I was expecting. I was expecting this creamy, sweet, caramel-like fragrance, but it's nothing like that. In fact, this is quite opposite. It's very intense and it's dark gourmand. The opening is all about toffee, and if you know anything about toffee, it's cooked at higher temperatures than caramel, which gives it a slightly burnt undertone. Yeah, it smells a little bit burnt, a little bit incensey, so you really have to appreciate toffee to like this fragrance. I also smell black coffee and brown sugar in the background, and I feel like all of the notes are blended so well together. There's also dates, which add that sweetness, and cardamom, which adds spiciness, while vanilla creates milky backdrop. I would wear this during winter or cold nights. I feel like this is a solid release from Swiss Arabian, but it's just a little bit too dark for me to fall in love with. If you like dark, deep, rich and smoky gourmand fragrances, you'd probably enjoy this one. Next on my list, I have these blushes from What's Up Beauty. These are their Chic Terry blushes and they are inspired by Italian coastline. I absolutely love this packaging and they have this beautiful marble design. They come in 4 beautiful shades. I'm wearing the shade 20 Serene Sienna today, and I really enjoyed working with this formula and love the glow that it gives my skin. Now these blushes are a little bit more harder pressed and they are a little bit more on the sheer side. I wore Peaceful Pizza and Serene Sienna so far and I feel like I had to build them up quite a bit to make them show up on my skin. If you like a sheer buildable blush, I feel like this formula will be right up your alley. These are talc-free, they are made in Italy. I feel like this is an amazing release from What's Up Beauty. I just personally like my blushes to be a little bit more pigmented, so that's why these are in an okay pile. I recently got my hands on the Verb's new hair product. This is their Maximum Hold Strong Finishing Hairspray. I've used it maybe 4 or 5 times so far and I'm really impressed with this formula. So after I curl my hair, I would go in with this product and it would give me this beautiful touchable finish and it's not flaky or sticky. I'm a little bit concerned about the word maximum hold because in my experience this doesn't provide almost any hold at all. It acts like a finishing spray, not like a hairspray. So I'm not sure about the wording on here. It landed in the okay pile just because I still prefer my Bumble and Bumble Dry Spun Texture Spray. That one just gives me a lot of volume and I find that this one from Verb doesn't necessarily do that. But overall, this is an amazing finishing spray if you're in the market for one. Next, I have this Mighty Fine Brow Pen from Benefit. It's the newest product in their brow line. And this one is really interesting because it has this very weird fork-like applicator. I'll be honest, you guys, I didn't expect much of it. I was sure that this is gonna be like a gimmicky product. But somehow it actually works. I have mine in the shade 2.5 Neutral Blonde and I feel like it's a pretty decent shade match for me. I really enjoy using it on my brows, especially the front of my brow, to give that illusion of hair-like strokes. It also lasts on me the whole day, which in hindsight I should have expected from Benefit because they know what they're doing when it comes to brow products. I will say that it's a little bit tricky to use when it comes to the tail of your brow because things can get a little bit messy with the applicator there, but I just rotate it to the side and kind of try to do my best to draw the hair-like strokes that way. Is it an absolute must-have? I'm dying over it? No. I will still prefer my eyebrow pencil and my powder over this, of course, any time of the day. But this one surprised me because it's actually usable and I love the way it looks on my brows, so I just wanted to mention that. Next, let's talk about these 2 body mists from Alice Brooklyn. We have Marshmallows and Vanilla Sin. And again, you guys, I'm just not a targeted audience for this release. I'm not a body mist kind of person. I just rather use my fragrances. I love a good, strong smelling fragrance on me. But of course, if you're somebody who likes lighter fragrances or something that sits a little bit closer to the skin, I feel like body mists are definitely way to go for you. Love the packaging. It comes in these beautiful glass bottles and the mister is so fine on this. I want to be completely transparent with you. I don't really enjoy any of these. I feel like they're just okay. They're not bad, but they are very sweet. And don't get me wrong, I love me a good sweet vanilla fragrance, of course, but I also want my fragrance to have some depth in it or have some character in it. And that's where I feel like body mists don't really give me that. And while these have their differences, they're very similar because they are those sweet vanilla types of scents. I personally prefer the Marshmallows because it has this fluffiness around it and I really enjoy that. There's a little bit of fruitiness in the vanilla skin. Is it a cherry? I feel like that's a cherry. Yeah, I feel like if you're in the market for a great sweet vanilla based body mist, these are an amazing options. They're just not for me. Okay, now let's move on to our hits. And first on the list, I have Pink Algae Pro-Retinol Moisturizer from Josie Maran. First of all, this isn't a new product from them. They already have this formulation in their line, but they updated the packaging and I have to say I'm in love with this new look. I mean, it's pink, how can I be mad at that? But what really has me excited is this formula. This moisturizer is magic, you guys, because how can you be so rich, thick, and almost like butter in a jar, but the second you apply it to your skin, it melts in instantly, leaving you with this soft, hydrated, and non-greasy finish? Like, they really put work in that lab. To me, it's just the perfect balance of that deep nourishment with a lightweight feel. It's very satisfying to apply. I actually have the old packaging in my stash and I'm almost done with that one. So this new one just couldn't come at a better time. It has antioxidants, pink algae, squalane, argan oil, of course, as any Josie Maran product does. There's also shea butter, and all those ingredients are amazing at supporting your skin barrier. I'm completely obsessed with this moisturizer because I feel like it's such a game changer for my dry skin, and I can't recommend it enough if you're looking for something deeply nourishing and hydrating and lightweight at the same time. So here's the cleansing oil I've mentioned earlier. This is Ginger Melt Oil Cleanser from Peach and Lily. You guys, this one is so good. It's an absolute yes from me. First off, the texture is thicker and richer compared to the other cleansing oils I've tried, which I personally enjoy because it gives me a little bit more control during the application. It just feels a little bit more substantial and comforting to use. It's like a little treat for your skin. It has absolutely no scent, which again, for somebody who has sensitive skin, that's a huge plus. It melts away all my makeup effortlessly and leaves my skin really nourished and soft. It also provides gentle exfoliation, but it never irritates my skin. Honestly, it feels like a mini spa experience every time I use it, and I love that. If you're in the market for a cleansing oil that does all that and feels luxurious, this one is 100% worth checking out. Okay, wow, I never thought I'd be praising a red blush, but here we are. Patrick, what have you done? This shade is everything. So Patrick Tar just dropped 4 new shades of his famous blush duos, and I got my hands on the shade She Left Me on Red. As you can tell, this is a very rich, vivid red shade, so I was so intimidated when I first got my hands on it. It just looked so way out of my comfort zone, but now you guys, I can't stop reaching for it. So it comes with 2 formulas. You have your cream and your powder. The cream, amazing. It's actually not too pigmented, so I can use it without turning myself into a clown. It's super forgiving and buildable, and I love that. But the powder formula, it's pigmented, like it's pigmented. You have to be really careful when you use it because the powder is actually really soft and it picks up a lot of product. And Patrick's technique is to use the powder first and then go over with a cream for that glow. But honestly, for me, that technique, especially with such a vivid, bright shade, could go south really quickly. So here's what I do instead. I start with a cream first and then I set it very, very lightly with a powder. The result? This gorgeous flush of color. I just can't stop wearing it. Absolutely in love with this duo. Total hit. Okay, I just have to talk about this brow sculpt from Refi because it's a total game changer. My brows are really stubborn, especially this one, the left one, because it has hairs that grow kind of different ways, and no brow gel has ever been able to keep them in place until this one. Let me tell you, this one is like a glue for your eyebrows. Seriously, this stuff goes on and your brows stay put all day long, no matter what. It's incredible. I will say don't over apply it because then you might get this like white residue on your eyebrows. But other than that, it's really flawless. It also comes with a built-in brush. It's actually a duo of brush and comb, and they're perfect for shaping and molding your brows exactly how you want them to. I've honestly abandoned all my other brow gels because of this product. Unfortunately for me, it's on the pricier side at $24, but honestly, if it gives me amazing brows, totally worth it. I've been reaching for my L'Oreal Lumi Leglow Skin Tint a lot recently, and it quickly became one of my favorites in my collection. I have it in the shade 120 Neutral, and it provides a really nice medium coverage. Now, if you're looking for a tinted moisturizer light skin tint kind of coverage, I feel like this might be, whoa, a little bit too much for you. I personally love the coverage it gives, but what really sells me is the finish. It's glowy and healthy, but it's never heavy, cakey or greasy. I actually filmed a full day wear test with this product, which is already up on my channel, so if you're curious about how this one holds up, you can check that out. I love the packaging, the pump. I'm really impressed with how long wearing it is on my skin. If you're somebody who has really oily skin, you might want to pass on this one unless you like that glowy finish, but for my dry skin, it's a win. Next I have this face palette from Laura Geller. This is the best of the best baked full face basics palette, and I wasn't expecting to fall in love with this palette, but it's just so good. This was my first Laura Geller product, so I didn't really know what to expect from it. But this palette covers pretty much everything you need to do a full face. It has eyeshadows, bronzer, 2 highlighters, and a blush. The eyeshadows though, not my favorite. I like my eyeshadows pigmented, and these just didn't deliver in that department, so I'm not sold on them at all. But the complexion products, absolutely stunning. The formulas are baked, which gives that a cereal glowy finish that melts right into your skin. They are pigmented, but they have that slight translucency to them, which makes it look so natural and beautiful on the skin. I honestly got so many compliments on my skin when wearing this palette. I just felt so pretty wearing it. The downside, this palette is hella bulky, which I really don't love, but the formulas are really good, so I'm willing to overlook it. One thing I just have to mention, because it's 2025, this palette is not inclusive at all, which is really disappointing and unacceptable. So I really hope they will continue to grow and learn and will release a palette suited for deeper complexions. But for my pale skin, this palette has been a hit, so I just had to mention that. I've been loving bronzers from this Chick Cherry collection from What's a Beauty because they are just so natural and subtle on the skin. Again, you have your beautiful marble design, and I'm just someone who really enjoys that subtle, slightly sheer bronzer. I have 2 shades, light and medium, and I find that these are a little bit more pigmented than blushes, and I actually can see the light shade on my skin very clearly. They also have a little bit of a sheen to them, nothing too glittery or anything like that. It just gives you this beautiful glowy effect. I love it. I was sure that this is the same formula as their blushes, but it's actually different, and I definitely prefer this formula over their blushes. I was so impressed by these pop tint lip stains from Hard Candy. These are only $8, and I believe they are available at Walmart, and I love that they're accessible like that. They are inspired by fruits, and they come in these 4 juicy, bright, fun shades. I've actually filmed a try-on with this, so I will try my best to insert a video here of me applying them so you can see the colors. Out of them 4, my absolute favorite is the Cherry Splash. It's just this beautiful juicy red, and I'm just obsessed with it. I absolutely love this big doe foot applicator. I will say that it grabs quite a bit of product, and I feel like you don't really need that much, so I would just tap a little bit off, not to over apply. I love how versatile this formula is. You can do a little dot and then blend it out with your finger to give you that beautiful pop of color, or you can really go in and layer and get that really bright hydrated finish. I love how lightweight they feel on the lips, and they're not sticky, which is amen to that. I hate when lip stains do that. They smell absolutely incredible, fruity and sweet. I'm just so happy to see drugstore killing it and coming out with these amazing formulas at these amazing prices. What's a Beauty also came out with 2 new brushes, and one thing about me, I love my What's a Beauty brushes. I use their eye brushes almost every single time I do my eye makeup, and they've been in my collection for years and years, and they've held up so beautifully, and they still deliver. So they came out with 2 new brushes with that Chick Cherry collection. These are both goat hair brushes, so they're natural bristles brush. We have R202, which is a blush brush. Love that it has more of a rounded edge to it, and it just delivers such a light and diffused application for that gorgeous natural finish, while the bronzer brush is amazing for sculpting. It's a little bit denser and more compact, and it really gives you that precision and control and targeted application of your bronzer. These are an absolute hit from What's a Beauty. I can't wait for them to release more brushes, I'll be getting those immediately. Swiss Arabian also sent me their newest Tobacco 01 perfume, and out of those two, I was sure that I would like Vanilla Toffee much more, but the tobacco completely stole the show, and I'm usually not a tobacco scent kind of person. But this one took me by surprise in the best way. It opens really fruity and juicy. There's a hint of licorice, which I find such a unique note, especially in my fragrance collection. And there's also some spiciness to it. And that opening was just so unexpected, but so inviting at the same time. There's some floral notes in it, but then the tobacco starts kicking in, and that tobacco is amazing. It's not overpowering, it's really smooth and soft. This is what I'm wearing today, so let me reapply. Oh my god, this is so well blended. It's very elegant, it's a little bit mysterious, but it's so sexy. It's beautifully rounded and so well blended. It's definitely unisex. I can see myself wearing it. That tobacco is just so addictive. This is so good. This is just one of those fragrances that feel sexy, and I'm obsessed. Alright, that's a wrap up on my ranking of 25 beauty products I've tried. I hope you guys found this video helpful and enjoyed hearing my thoughts. I'd love to know which products caught your eye or which ones you've tried yourself. Let us know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss any future uploads. Thank you so much for being here. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!